It was in 2002 that the bishops met in Dallas and put together what's come to be known as the Dallas Charter and the essential norms that went along with it, sort of codifying the charter for the rest of us. And it's from that charter that we get this idea of a victims assistance coordinator. It's not that term isn't used, if I'm correct, in the charter, victims assistance coordinator, but every diocese is required to have someone, a representative. Heather, tell us about the origins of the victims assistance coordinator. Where did this position come from? It didn't, the charter mandated, but it didn't, there were actually dioceses who were doing this already. Can you tell us a little bit about that history?
Sure. There were dioceses that were doing this already in maybe an earlier iteration of this, but there were dioceses who had someone in a position where they were receiving reports of sexual misconduct by clergy and then coordinating a compassionate and resourced response to the victim survivor. And typically, by and large, that includes and is primarily individual therapy for the survivor. In the charter, it, as you said, it codified that. The idea was that this should not be something that only existed in dioceses that had evolved to that point of thinking about it, but that it was something mandatory, that every diocese would have someone in place who was prepared to do this work, who was skilled to do this kind of work. And so with the charter, we see the establishment of this expectation that there be a compassionate and timely resourced response to those who contact the church with reports of harm, or those who get referred to the church in other ways to make us aware of the harm that had been done to them and who had perpetrated that, so that that perpetrator could also be addressed. And handled in terms of being taken out of ministry and so forth. And it did that in combination with establishing the safe environment expectation, and that there be someone who is also attending to the prevention and education component. And those two are complementary, but they manifest differently in different dioceses. So the three of us are three versions of victims assistance coordinators. In other dioceses, they may look different, have different backgrounds, also have other responsibilities. It'll vary. And I think Courtney's going to talk more about that.